What's up, YouTube? Welcome to Cool Nerd Show. I'm Steve Trezza, and today we're going to take a look at the Legends of Tomorrow Season 2 premiere. I believe the episode was titled Out of Time. So last season, Legends of Tomorrow ended off on kind of a cliffhanger. We got a mention of Justice Society of America, and this season kind of picks off where that left off. Now, usually in these reviews, I'll tell you what I liked, what I didn't like, and maybe give a prediction or two of what I think is going to come. I'm going to mention real quick, I didn't really like last season at all. I actually thought it was very, very boring. I thought it started off kind of high, and then it became the same episode every week over and over again in a enter time period here type of format. I also thought that the time travel was very confusing, the way that they kind of portrayed it, but that's neither here nor there. Let's get right into the episode. So what I liked about the episode is we did have a lot of guest appearances. We had guest appearances from Oliver Queen, who makes an appearance in the beginning. He didn't really drive the story, but it's still cool to kind of see him on there. In fact, now thinking about it, he didn't really do anything for the story. They actually didn't even really need him at all. But it is cool to see him kind of show up on there, and he didn't even show up as the Arrow. We also got Dr. Nate Haywood, who turns into Commander Steel or Citizen Steel, and that will probably happen later on during the season. Damien Dark made a guest appearance, and he was the bad guy in 1942. As we know, he uses magic and the Lazarus Pit to kind of retain his youth. And one of the very big reveals in the end is we got the Reverse Flash, which I thought was awesome. I knew it was going to happen, but I didn't think it was going to happen this soon into the season. It definitely added to an exciting finish, which wants me to watch the series a little bit more, so I'm glad we saw him in there in the end. So I liked the action. I thought the action was good. The characters are very likable. We got a lot of different points in history, which I thought was kind of cool. We got Albert Einstein, we got King Louis, we got the Salem witch trials for a little bit, and a couple other things. Ray Palmer went back into prehistoric times with the dinosaurs. The comedy is a little hokey, but it's not bad. The episode was definitely watchable. I didn't think it was great. I didn't think it was a bad episode. I just kind of thought it was okay. So I thought it could have been better, but it definitely could have been worse. So I'll take it. I'll take it for a premiere. Now, getting into the things that I didn't like, it's really confusing for the DC TV universe to kind of have the Flash, and where every little thing that Barry will do in the past will drastically change the future. And then you have Legends of Tomorrow, who go into the past and blow a bunch of shit up and kill a bunch of people and kind of reveal their powers and tech to all these people from the past, and yet there's not really any consequences in the future. It doesn't make any sense, and I hate that about the show. That's one thing I don't like a lot. I don't like it at all about it. So I would rather they just kind of stay in one time period rather than jump around through different time periods. And I think it would make the show a lot more watchable. It's kind of too much to take in at times. It also gives the show a lot of plot holes. Be consistent with your series. Don't say that, hey, this one thing in The Flash is going to change the future for everything, and yet Legends of Tomorrow are going back, literally destroying the timeline, and there's no repercussions in the future. It's just kind of dumb, and it doesn't make sense. But outside of that, I didn't think that anything else was really that bad. I like the idea that they now have to kind of discover what happened to Rip Hunter and where he is in time, and I like that we got the Justice Society of America in the end. If you don't know who the Justice Society of America is, they were kind of before the Justice League in terms of the comic book timeline. They happened around that World War II time, maybe a little bit later as well. So right around that time is where they would actually appear in the comic book timeline. So I think this is very fitting for them to show up in that time. However, the Justice Society of America is missing some of its key members. The Jay Garrick Flash, the Alan Scott Green Lantern, a few other members here and there. We kind of got just kind of like the B-list JSA, but it's still really cool, and I can't wait to see what they do with it for the future. It's definitely cool that they're actually doing it in that timeline too, and not in present day. So this review is going to be a little bit quicker than my other reviews that I did earlier this week, just because I don't think there's really that much to talk about. I think I kind of covered everything. If you want to see us go a little bit more in depth in the discussion, we will be talking about it in our weekly Nerdcast that we do live on YouTube every Friday. So we will be live Friday night, which is tomorrow, or depending on when you're watching this. And we talk about all the shows throughout the week. We go a little bit more in discussion. We interact with people in the chat. So if you watch us live, you can ask us questions. We'll answer them live on the air. We go on around 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's New York time. Sometimes we're a little bit late, but check us out. If you can't make it, then make sure you watch it a little bit later. We'll also talk about the recent nerd topics of movies and comics and video games and anything else that we think is worthy of talking about. So if you haven't already, please like, favorite, and subscribe, and we will see you guys over on other segments.